right, ladies and gentlemen, we have head coach Tammi Reiss. Coach, when you're settled, just an opening statement on the win.
It was really good to be able to play again and shake a loss off. And we were really anxious as a coaching staff to see how we respond after losing. When we hadn't lost in so many months, I think it was like 2.5 months, and so it really hurt the team. They were I think they were very emotional. They were highly upset, and so we were really looking forward to get on the court again and being able to play and kind of redeem yourselves and really focus on us. And today, the areas of discipline that we did not have the prior game at LaSalle, we really focused on today. Number one was our defensive coverages. We had to get stops today and really focus on our ball screen defense, ability to guard one-on-one, and improve that. And we did. We held them under their goal, under 40 points, which was our goal, keep them out of the 40s. And the second thing was getting to the free throw line, really hunting the paint. First half, not so good, but second half, we really went in the paint and were the aggressors. And then lastly, rebounding, boards. We had to improve our offensive rebounding, and so making a concerted effort to get extra shots if we weren't shooting the ball well. The only area of discipline I thought we lacked today was turnovers again, and I think it cost us at LaSalle. So it's something that we really, really need to take care of the ball. But other than that, I was so proud of everyone who played today, all of our players. And then lastly, it was a really emotional day. There was a lot going on. We had our pink day and we had our senior day. And so today, we played for our seniors. We played in their honor and we played for them. And so it was important that we give a good showing for them. And then lastly, I want to thank our marketing department. I want to thank our university. I want to thank our own team who went up on campus yesterday. What a fabulous job they did to get students at the game today. And I want to thank the students for coming out. It was absolutely amazing. That's the best student section we've ever had. So I want to thank all the Rhody students that came out and supported us today. What a crowd. And we really, really appreciate it. So, in the end, it was a good day to be a Rhody Ram.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, you spoke about your rebounding and making that, part of the effort today. Can you just speak about your team's effort on the glass? Because you definitely won that battle.
Today was about urgency and compete. Something that I didn't think we overlooked LaSalle the last game. We did not. We had a good practice. We prepped for them. My team always respects everyone. But we felt we didn't play with urgency or aggression, real urgency, like we have to win. We have to compete. It's all or nothing. We didn't have that to us. Where today, every little thing you do, things like going to the offensive boards, running the floor, attack mode, getting down and defending, those things take hustle at heart. You know you're playing if you can hold the team under 40 points. You know you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to play. Rebounding, boarding, it's all second effort. You don't have to be a highly skilled player. You just have to have a motor to get to the paint and get to the boards and not accept the box out. And I thought some of our kids today were just absolutely ferocious. Albina being one, she set the tone in the first half, and then here comes Emmy in the second half, and Lily off the bench, and you just have kids that were just free-falling, going to the boards, and that's what we wanted to see. That's the sense of urgency you have to win basketball games in February. And so really, really pleased with that effort on the boards.
Coach, for the senior night, obviously it is such a time of celebration and such a time of obviously celebrating the ones who are moving on. But how do you plan to handle the dynamic change and the dynastic change from the sort of dream team that you do have right now that you've cultivated here with the current group of seniors and the challenges that can come from such a shift of them leaving and bringing in a new crowd?
Haven't even thought about it. You can't do that. You can't. Now, you may sit back and, at night when you're watching and suddenly you go, oh God, the end is near, but you can't do that. We're 10 toes down. We're in it right now. We're one game at a time. It's what I preach. It's why you might get clipped by LaSalle or Fordham or lose to Richmond or GW. You've got to be one game at a time, focusing on, are we getting better? I don't know if any of you follow Kara Lawson on social media, but, I respect her greatly. And, everything she talks about is you can only control what you know, and what you know are the analytics, your team. You can't let these external factors seep into your core unit and what you have to execute with. So thinking down the future, you can't let the past affect the present, and you definitely can't let the future affect the present. So all you have is this moment. I just want to cherish this team. I want to show up every day, because every day disappears, it gets shorter and shorter, and enjoy the time we have left and focus on what we need to do to win basketball games.
Absolutely, thank you.
Coach, Beetle was amazing with the rebounds today, getting 10 rebounds. How valuable is it to have a point guard who can control the floor, control the pace, but also get inside and get those rebounds amongst the bigs?
It's funny. I think Sophie V is our most underrated player on our team. I don't think she gets the credit as a point guard in our league. She's one of the best point guards in our league. From a standpoint of controlling a game in so many variables, not scoring. Everyone looks at scoring in our league. That's how you get player of the week, is put up 30 points and you're gonna get player of the week. Being a great player is how you affect the game in all different aspects. She's a defensive rebounding machine. Because we box out, she comes up with every board. Then it starts our fast break, because she's our pusher. So you know how invaluable that is to have a point guard that snatches a board and we run, we go. Then she's a defensive menace on the ball. She has double picks left and right. She really is. And she's an assist leader on our team. Makes everyone better, gets the ball to where we need it to go, when we need it to go. And then coming downhill off ball screens, getting to the rim, again, amazing. So Sophie's just invaluable because she does affect, for us, the game in so many ways. And when she doesn't play well, we don't play well. It's not when Brooklyn can score 5 points or 8 points, we'll win. But when Sophie V, and she didn't have a great game at LaSalle, she's really upset with herself defensively at LaSalle. She just didn't have it. You have bad games once in a while. But there's one of the reasons we lost was, defensively, she wasn't on her game for whatever reason. She could have been tired, and she's like, I'm getting after it today, I'm gonna redeem myself, and she did. She, excellent point guard, struggled from the field today, struggled to get the ball up to half court. So, she's the key for us. She's the engine, she's the captain. When she plays well, we're really good.
You mentioned it a bit in your opening statement, but despite 16 turnovers, they only had 4 points off of it. So how much is an emphasis of that moving forward?
You turn the ball over, you're usually going to give up 16 turnovers. You usually give up 8 to 10 points. God forbid you give up 12 or 14. It's how you can lose. And we need all the possessions we can get. We really do. Especially when we're not rebounding the ball well. We're not tops in the league in offensive rebounding. We're not. We used to be, but we're not. So we have to manufacture points in some ways. Foul line's been great to us this year, really has. But also taking care of the ball and getting shots. And so you can't not rebound and not take care of the ball. It's what we did at LaSalle. So again, really, it's got to be an emphasis. It's one of our categories every game. You must take care of the basketball. If we can operate 10 turnovers or less, we got a really, really good shot at winning a ball game.
Coach, you have possibly the game of the season in the A-10 coming up against Richmond on the road. Huge implications for both teams. How are you kind of getting mentally prepared after that, after such a blowout win here today? Is there any kind of different preparations, or is it just same as always?
Obviously when you say Richmond and George Mason, our kids, the eyes light right up and their chest comes out and suddenly they got this like, let's go. You don't have to get them up for those games. They know. I worry about the Fordhams and people at the lower end of your league that they may overlook. We try not to. I never let them. I'm always razor sharp. But Richmond is, we prep the way we prep, the same way for everybody. We have to have a great game plan against them. Again, they have a big 3. They're at home. They play much better at home. They haven't lost I think they have a nice win streak in the Robins Center. So, it's just business as usual, just like every game has been. We got to prep. We'll let this go. We'll learn from this. We take away. We enjoy it for a night, and then it's gone. and now you're in the present. You're prepping. You got 2-day prep. We have a day off, 2-day prep for Richmond, and then you got to get ready. So that it's business as usual. Same thing. We're like Groundhog Day. It's almost like robotic on once you're prepping and your day off, and then you got 2-day prep, and it's the same thing. They'll just be up for Richmond. You know, Richmond knows it's a big game. We know it's a big game, and hopefully it's a battle.
Is there going to be any changes with the incoming snowstorm coming in? Are you preparing for that in any way? Potentially getting the
You
facility
always,
shut
you
down?
know, the main thing, and you know, Brittany Miles is here. She's our administrator. She'll take care of us. But the main thing is you got to get down there. If you're in town and you got I believe the rule is you got 3 refs, you got a shot clock keeper, because we did it at Dayton, and the game's going on if you can get there. And so we got to Dayton early, and we flew out way earlier than we supposed to. We got the game in, thank God, and then we stayed an extra 2 days. But same thing, if we have to do that at Richmond, you know, our university administration, they track everything. I think Providence Men had it going on with DePaul today. You know, you can't control some things, you just can't control. So you have to be fluid as a coach. You got to be loose, you got to be fluid, and it is what it is. So we'll track it and we'll try to prepare it to the best that we can. And our kids are good with it. We always have something happen, bus blow up, you know, get stranded. They're just used to it, and it doesn't really bother them ever. So we'll come to that crossroad when we have to. Hopefully the nor'easter blows by us. The ocean will take it out. Fingers crossed.
Coach, you talked about you know, the Breast Cancer Awareness Day. What does it mean to you in getting the win today out of all days?
Well, again, senior day, and you combine it with breast cancer awareness, so it becomes very emotional, because I think the C word has touched all of us in this room, whether it's family or friends. But you know, every year I coach for someone. I was going to say I play for someone. I wish I was a player. I coach for someone, and you know, it does become emotional when I say my prayer before we walk out on the court. And my point guard from Syracuse, Tiana Manakahia, I think you've all read about her in the news. She was, now when I mean an amazing talent, I mean top point guard. She was going to be drafted in the WNBA, and I leave to come here. And that summer, she, I think, was 24 years old and got diagnosed with breast cancer. And so last year, unfortunately, she lost her battle before the age of 30. And so I coached in her honor today. So you combined all this, and it becomes an emotional day. So it means a lot to me. My family, my friends that it's touched, and you know, it's brutal, but for someone so young to lose their life, that was so vivacious. And I've never met someone crazier than me when I was that age, and she was it. She was a whirlwind, typical Aussie, and it's what I loved about her. And right till her last breath, she lived her life that way, never felt sorry for herself, enjoyed every day of life. So I coached in her honor, and you know, she got us the win today.
Hopefully an easier question. I didn't mean to make you cry, but you know, what was Emma's impact like off the bench, and what kind of spark did she bring to the team today?
Oh God, you know, I'll say this about Emma. You know, she's a long line of young French women that have to wait their turn. Maya Touré was another one who sat behind people for 2 years. And you'd see Maya shooting after games out on the court. People are like, oh my God, she's on the gun for like an hour after the game in her uniform. You'll see her before practice. Emmy is the same thing. 6:30 in the morning before practice. I think she was here, full workout this morning. Knowing she may not play big minutes, full 45-minute workout. Full sweat when we came into scout this morning, getting ready. So when the opportunity comes, she's ready. No sulking. No, I should be playing. The most coachable young lady, the hardest worker, puts it in. So today, when opportunity met, she's been getting more and more minutes. She was ready, and she had a game today. Emmy was our player of the game today. And, you know, just another case of, you know, someone not coming in feeling entitled, feeling like me. It was like, I understand. Let me outwork people and I'll earn my minutes. And she's done that. So I'm so proud of her. The team was so happy for her. The impact was incredible, especially in the first half when the game wasn't decided. She hit that 3. She went and got the O board. She was doing good things in good minutes. And so she values those minutes. And then the second half, she just took over. You know, every loose ball, every rebound, that's effort. That's urgency. So we couldn't be any prouder, Emmy, but you don't see the work she puts in. The work she does, she's going to be a great player because she'll just outwork you.
Coach, you mentioned earlier about how you were happy with the marketing department getting students into the seats at the Ryan Center today. Can you elaborate a little bit more about the energy, about what your sideline felt or what your team felt as the students piled into the Ryan Center and throughout the game?
Well, as soon as they walked out on the court and they saw that section filled, they just were like, oh my God. You know, and I don't know if any of you have played basketball, but when there's a filled arena, it's a different vibe. It's a different energy. You get this, you want to hoop. You want to hoop because you have an audience. And so, you know, our administration, Brittany Miles again, was on the phone right after, you know, our last game home, working with Up the Hill on what they could do to, you know, giveaways for students. How can we get students here? You know, our marketing department, and they came up with creative ideas. We have ones for next week as well. So we just really appreciate the university and all the effort they put into it. But more so, our players felt it, and they couldn't have been any happier. Like, we've never had students at our games, and that was the biggest student section we've ever had. And so they felt, and you could feel it, the cheers after the game, the students coming up to them. It's just nice because in college, and we are in college, this isn't the pros, regardless of what some people seem to say, it's college athletics. There's nothing better than school spirit. Nothing. I don't care if it's a football game. I don't care if it's a pep rally. That's what it should be like. Athletics, academics, your whole university coming together. That's a vibe. And it's a beautiful thing. And as a college athlete, as a coach now, when I was an athlete, we played to sold out arenas. There is not a better atmosphere. And then our students became very proud of who we were in the national media and how we were doing, and vice versa. And so I want my players to feel that. I know our men's team felt that the other night. There's not a better feeling than beating a ranked team in front of a sold out student section. I saw it on TV. That was a vibe. So, you know, that's what we want at the University of Rhode Island, and whether it's football, whether it's men or women's basketball, whether it's soccer, we want to create that school spirit and that Rhody nation, and let them bring the ruckus. It was awesome.
Tammi, earlier in the week you were named to the Naismith watch list, and not only individually for yourself, but you're on that list with Dawn Staley. I wonder, just for yourself and for the two of you together, just what that means.
First, I don't acknowledge on my social media or anything. Thank you, and I just don't do it because I don't like individual awards at this time of the year. I don't. It detracts focus from the team. I'm trying to be, locked in and 10 toes down, but I will say this. How it made me feel was very honored to be on that list with GOATs. And when I mean, come on, Gino, Dawn, Kim, you're like, what? And to see your name. And then I've never been prouder to represent the University of Rhode Island. There's only 2 mid-majors on that list, and it's Princeton and Rhode Island. And I've never been prouder for our university. And then I've never been more thankful for the players that we have, because they get you that. I don't win games. I don't make shots. I don't get rebounds. All I do is prepare them. They won all these games for us. And then my incredible staff that is so hardworking. So I was so proud that we collectively did that and achieved that as a group, from the university down to our team, to our coaching staff. And then to be on the list with your backcourt homie, your college roommate, your partner in crime, like your bestie, it's special. We were, I think, the first All-American backcourt for Kodak All-American together. And then to be able to be on a list with her and just be mentioned in the same breath as Dawn Staley, it was really special for me. But You know, it came and then we lost, and I forgot all about it because I was, you know, devastated by the loss. And it's things like that that I feel like are at home, and I'm like, really? It had to come out this morning? I really do. I think that way. I just want to be game. And then, you know, I try to cut all social media and all that out. And then someone said, did you see? So then I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, I saw it. But, you know, it is a great honor. And I just want to thank all the people that are responsible for getting our school that honor. And it's a coaching staff honor, but the players got it for us. So I want to thank them, I want to thank my staff, and I want to thank the university for giving us the resources to be able to compete at the level at which we do.
If we could go back 35 years, we're in a room with Tammi from Western New York and Dawn from North Philly. And if I had said 35 years from now, you're going to be two of the 15 best coaches in the country, what do you think you two might have said to us?
Are you smoking? Come on, are you smoking dope? No, we probably, Dawn would have laughed. She wouldn't have said anything because she was shy as shy could be. She never spoke a word until her junior year. And we were menaces. We were probably anti-coach as far as you could remove yourself from coaching. You know, I don't think we ever thought about it, ever, that we were going to get into coaching. Dawn especially. Dawn was like, I ain't coaching. I'm a hooper. I'm going to play. She didn't even want to coach when Temple called her. So, you know, that's the last thing. We were so immature. We really were. We were two little crazy hellions that pranked everyone, stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning every night, had to, you know, run and get to class because we overslept all the time. But, you know, again, to see how far we've come from those playing days from our freshman year to what we were then to where we are now, and you go 35 years later, like, oh my God, we're old. It's just incredible, the journey. It really is. And again, when you love a game, nothing surprises you. When you love basketball, now as we got older, I knew Dawn was going to be a coach by her senior year. I knew it. When she watched that Tennessee film for 3 months straight when we lost in the final, and I'm like, Dawn, you got to stop. She analyzed everything. I said, oh my God, you're going to be, I'm not coaching. Oh yeah. You knew then she was going to be an amazing coach. So it's just, to watch our growth, it's pretty incredible.
Sorry to bring it up again, but with the nomination, of course, how are you inspired by your own players, and how do they take some of your leadership and institute it into themselves and into their own dynamics?
I think, you know, you try to instill a culture in your players. You know, certain characteristics that, you know, you believe in that get you to be successful in whatever you do. And so I hope I mentor them and I teach them the right way. We don't sacrifice our culture and our standards, our morals or our ethics to win. We never do here. And we focus on, you know, instilling the right morality and value system that will make them successful. Those 5 seniors, when they go on, whether it's on the hardwood as a pro, whether it's, you know, in the boardroom, whatever profession they choose, they'll walk in that room and they'll take it from anyone they go head to head with, because we've taught them the right way. And so I hope they take that from me, that how you do anything is how you do everything. And you want to win at everything if you want to truly be successful. And so I hope when they walk away 10, 12 years later, they look back and go, I understand what Coach Reiss was doing now and why her crazy self did it that way. But my whole coaching staff teaches that. And so that's what I hope they take away when they leave here, is we've prepared them for the real world and how to attack it and not get eaten up by it.
What do you want to see from your team in the last week of the regular season?
I really want to see us focus on, you know, being able to be disciplined to execute what we need to do. Now, if you miss shots and lose a game, that's one thing. But when you turn the ball over 20, 18 times, you're not disciplined, you don't have the proper spacing or the proper pace, things that are in our control. I say that all the time. Discipline with your habits, because little things make the big things work. And we did not do the little things at LaSalle well. And I credit LaSalle for causing some of those things. but we were so undisciplined in everything we did. And I had not seen that other than VCU, which we should have lost. It was the same exact lack of discipline that caused us to play that way. So, I really want to see us be disciplined and laser sharp focus. I have to take care of resting, getting my players healthy, making sure they get to the games ready to go, full of energy, feeling good, have their legs. They've got to show up ready to compete and ready to be disciplined. That's what our focus is as a coaching staff and for our players.
All right, everyone, we'll let Coach get on with her day. Thank you all very much for
Thanks.
coming out.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your weekend.